The Benny Hill Show remains one of British television's most recognizable comedy exports, known for its slapstick humor, fast-paced chase sequences, and iconic musical cues. Running from the mid-1950s into the late 1980s, it built a vast international audience and turned Benny Hill into a household name. Despite its popularity, the series increasingly faced criticism as cultural attitudes toward comedy changed in its later years. Controversy surrounding certain sketches intensified public debate about its content and relevance. This overview explores Benny Hill's life, the show's development, its comedic style, rise to fame, and the controversies that ultimately shaped its decline. Early life and background. Alfred Hawthorne Hill, known professionally as Benny Hill, was born in Southampton, England in 1924. His upbringing reflected a modest working-class environment, with his family involved in everyday trades rather than entertainment. Interestingly, performance ran in his wider lineage, with a grandfather who had worked as a circus clown. Before entering show business, Hill took on a range of jobs, including work in retail, transport, and manual roles. These early experiences exposed him to varied personalities and situations, which later influenced his comedic character work. His early life was shaped by adaptability, curiosity, and an emerging interest in performance and timing. Military service and wartime experience. During World War II, Hill was conscripted into the British Army and trained in the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. His duties involved mechanical maintenance, driving, and technical support for military operations. Later, he served in Normandy during a critical phase of the war, contributing to logistical and operational support roles. A significant turning point came when he joined the Combined Services Entertainment Division, where he performed for troops. This environment allowed him to develop timing, stage presence, and audience awareness under pressure. His wartime experience played a major role in shaping his confidence and future direction in entertainment. Early career in radio and television. After the war, Hill entered the entertainment industry through radio, debuting in the late 1940s on popular variety programs. His early radio appearance showcased sharp timing and an ability to adapt to different comedic formats. While success was inconsistent at first, he gradually built recognition. The rise of television in the 1950s provided a new platform, and Hill quickly transitioned into visual comedy. His early TV roles allowed him to experiment with physical humor, facial expressions, and visual gags, expanding his style beyond radio. These years laid the foundation for his signature comedic identity. The rise of The Benny Hill Show. In 1955, The Benny Hill Show premiered on British television, marking the beginning of a long-running comedy format. The program combined sketches, parody, musical segments, and slapstick humor. Hill often played multiple characters within a single episode, demonstrating versatility and creativity. Over time, the show developed a distinctive rhythm, blending dialogue-based sketches with exaggerated physical comedy. The format evolved, but its core appeal remained fast-paced humor and accessible storytelling. The series gradually gained popularity, attracting audiences who appreciated its energetic style and lighthearted approach to comedy across different eras of broadcasting. Comedic style and signature techniques. A defining feature of the show was its use of rapid chase sequences, often set to upbeat instrumental music. These scenes were filmed using undercranking, a technique that sped up motion for exaggerated comedic effect. The result was chaotic, cartoon-like movement that became a trademark of the series. The show also relied heavily on visual humor, including slapstick, mistaken identity, and recurring character archetypes. Background extras often played exaggerated roles, contributing to the sense of controlled chaos. This blend of physical comedy and editing style gave the program a unique identity that distinguished it from other television comedies of its time. International fame and cultural impact. As the show progressed through the 1960s and 1970s, it gained significant international popularity. It was broadcast in multiple countries and became especially well known for its nonverbal humor, which transcended language barriers. Hill's exaggerated expressions and physical comedy made the show accessible to global audiences. The program's popularity turned him into an internationally recognized entertainer, and the theme music became instantly identifiable. At its peak, the show was among the most widely watched British television exports, influencing comedic styles and inspiring similar formats in other countries that adopted visual slapstick traditions. Controversy and changing social attitudes. By the late 1970s and 1980s, attitudes toward media representation began to shift significantly. While earlier audiences had accepted much of the show's humor as harmless, later critics argued that some sketches relied on outdated stereotypes and objectification, particularly in scenes featuring women. One controversial sketch in a beauty pageant-style setting drew increased criticism for its portrayal of scantily clad performers. As public sensitivity around gender representation and media ethics evolved, the show's comedic style came under greater scrutiny. What was once widely accepted began to be reassessed through a more critical cultural lens. Backlash and decline of the show. The growing criticism contributed to declining support from broadcasters and sections of the audience. Although the show still retained viewers, it faced increasing pressure from changing cultural standards and shifting expectations of televised comedy. By the late 1980s, the format was considered by some to be outdated compared to newer comedic styles emerging on television. Combined with internal production decisions and external controversy, the program's presence on mainstream television weakened. Eventually, the series was discontinued, marking the end of a long but increasingly contested run in British entertainment history. Legacy and lasting influence. Despite controversy and eventual cancellation, Benny Hill's influence on television comedy remains significant. His use of visual humor, editing techniques, and physical storytelling helped shape early sketch comedy formats. The show's international reach demonstrated the power of nonverbal comedy in crossing cultural boundaries. While modern perspectives often critique aspects of its content, its impact on television production and comedic pacing is still acknowledged. Many later performers and shows drew inspiration from its energetic style, even as they adapted it to fit evolving social norms and expectations around representation and humor. Conclusion: The Benny Hill Show stands as both a landmark in television comedy and a reflection of changing cultural values over time. It achieved extraordinary global success through its physical humor, memorable characters, and distinctive style. At the same time, it became a focal point for debate as societal attitudes evolved, ultimately contributing to its decline. Benny Hill's legacy is complex, blending innovation in comedic television with controversies that redefined how audiences interpret humor. Today, the show is remembered as a product of its era, influential, widely recognized, and deeply tied to the history of broadcast entertainment.